Yo, what's up, everybody? I'm Dave Miranda, and this is episode 104 of Just Give Me 5. I hope you guys are doing great. Continue to be amazing. We got a really awesome show lined up for you today. But I gotta say, man, we just celebrated the 2-year anniversary just this past weekend. And it was a really, really, really awesome time, man. Just amazing. We had a beautiful turnout. I had my mom working the merch table. That was awesome. My sister decorated the spot. She made this really, really cool photo booth for everybody to take photos at. My pops came. It was awesome, man. It was a real good time. And, we just want to continue to thank everybody, for supporting the show, for supporting this movement. It's only to the top from here, man. 2023 is going to be another awesome and amazing year. We're looking forward to it. So thank you guys. Just want to say that. But if you guys caught episode 103, you saw we had none other than the one and only Charlie Weddle. And let me tell you, man, that was just such a treat because, like I was saying, like I was 14, I was in like 9th grade when I first, used to listen to Charlie on Power 92. And, the guy, goodness gracious, man, all the people that he's interviewed and the people that he's encountered, it's just so incredible. And for him to be in the Selena video, the Dreaming of You, to be the voice at the beginning, announcing the record, gosh, man, just what a time, and just such a really just a remarkable human being, man. And we were so happy to have him on the show. And like I said, my brother, I wish you nothing but the best and nothing less. So make sure you guys watch episode 103. All right. But today's guest is by far one of the funniest and most entertaining individuals on TV today. We're going to talk about how he got into broadcasting. We're also going to talk about a couple memorable stories that he's covered. We're going to talk about his passion for ASU and so much more. So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I present to you Ian Schwartz.
It's a beautiful day in the Valley of the Sun. All right, we got a few clouds. I'm Ian Schwartz. All I'm saying is, just give me 5. It was kind of a mistake almost, if anything. I graduated Dobson High, grew up in Mesa, and I knew I wanted to go to school in some form or fashion, and so took my butt to MCC. I figured, hey, I'm going to do community college if I don't want to waste my money, and I really have no clue what I'm doing. And I started just taking classes and everything, jazz and history and a little media and this and that. And then I ended up in like a newspaper writing class. And I was like, well, this is kind of interesting. And you get to interview people, it's creative, greater good type of stuff, trying to solve people's problems and whatnot. Right. And then I finally transferred to ASU. I was at MCC, I think, for like almost 3 years. Apparently it's a 2-year school, but they kept letting me enroll. They made some exceptions. Yeah. I was not a good student. I was actually put on academic probation at MCC. And I thought, that means I'm going back to high school, I think. I don't even know exactly what that means. Yeah. Whatever, I got what I needed to transfer to ASU, and then I got into their journalism program, which was kind of a big deal. And then I started to do the TV side, and I've always liked these things, cameras and tinkering and microphones and editing. And, we had these old VHS camcorders, and you'd have to shoot what stuff, sequentially. In order and stuff like that. And so I always dug that, and I realized, there's a journalism, like a video version of this. Yeah. I've seen the news, but I never really knew how those people did it. Right. And then I started getting into broadcast and started doing stories with video and editing, and I was like, I kind of like this. And my teacher was like, hey, you're kind of good. I was like, okay, all right, what? Yeah. Well, now what? So how do I get paid? Right. That's kind of how it all started, at least before I started, the business and all that. You start to piece together a resume tape, and you put your best stuff on there, video of you walking and talking, kind of the cheesy stuff too. You're next to the building. It was right here next to the building where it happened. Just the one-man band. The camera's a million miles away. You can't even see me. The audio and all that.
Yeah.
So you slap that stuff together. You just ship them off to different TV markets around the country. These places you've never heard of. Thank God for Google, because I had to look these places up. I'm like, I did not know. Tyler, Texas. Texas has like 300 something counties. Very, very big state.
Oh, yeah.
So I sent stuff to Tyler, Texas, Colorado Springs,
Right.
Places that didn't seem too hellish as far as the weather went,
Yeah.
And then I got a call from Peoria, Illinois, which is in the center of Illinois, which is
Richard Pryor.
home of Richard Pryor, absolutely.
Yeah, man.
They only named a tiny street after that legend. It's a tiny, tiny street.
Actually, don't even look nothing like
Yeah, it's not even a good part of town. Hook them up, man. So yeah, pretty much just moved, picked up all my stuff. Born and raised in Phoenix, never lived anywhere else, and moved straight to Illinois and just started there. And it was not a culture shock. I'm pretty adaptable, but weather shock and culture shock to an extent. There's like 150,000 people there, and much smaller city than Phoenix. This is 2006 or so, and then just kind of moved around. I did 3 years in Peoria, then I went to Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Okay.
And kind of along the way started to pick up some weather skills in addition to the reporting.
Right.
And then I decided to go to weather school. It's like an online program through Mississippi State. It's basically like an MBA for weather, essentially.
Okay.
And it allows you to kind of work while still working in TV. And then I went to Sacramento and started doing weather there and reporting there. And then eventually made my way back home 7 years ago, kind of doing weather and then kind of the lighter stuff. I used to do the hard, grimy reporting stuff, but I don't mess with that anymore. Once I was in Sacramento, and I had kind of just started covering big wildfires. I'd covered some wildfires in New Mexico, but in California, they allow you to kind of go anywhere you want.
Yeah.
Unless it's a crime scene, you can get it pretty much as close to the fire as you can. And there was one summer, 2012, 2013, and it was one of the driest summers or several years they'd had in decades, and there's just wildfires all over the place. And I think the first time I had gotten close to a fire and I saw my coworker, the photojournalist, I saw gray in his hair.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, looks like you're going gray, buddy. But it was just ash that started like raining down from the sky. And he wasn't aging. He was ashy,
Right.
but literally like in his hair.
Wow.
And then we were just stopping, and then we kind of continued on, and you just see this, massive pyrocumulus cloud and this gigantic fire. And we were always stayed safe, but you're driving right into this thing, and it's glowing, and the winds are whipping, and it's just kind of an eerie scene.
Right.
Kind of your first massive fire, at least in California, where you can get very, very close to these things.
Yeah.
Here in Arizona, they blockade you off, and every state has different rules as far as the press access goes. But California, you can march right up to these beasts, and it's just unlike it's,
Like a scene from Backdraft.
Yeah, it's like a movie, it's just like, holy shit. And, all these thousands and thousands of people have evacuated their homes, and they don't know what's going to happen to their lives. I think covering that and covering wildfires, we walk through areas where 10 homes have just burnt down, and there's just stuff all over the place, and there's some stuff you can still make out, like you'd see a mattress, you'd see springs. That's the only thing that's left, or the sink, or the furnace and stuff like that. But everything else is just fried.
It's done.
Yeah, so that's kind of the crazier things I've seen. 2020, awful year, as many of us know,
Right.
And we were having trouble getting donations for the Christmas Angel program, and we weren't actually going to make the goal. So we had this Save Christmas drive at what was Paradise Valley Mall. And I dressed up as an elf, and we were just rallying everybody, and people just started pouring gifts in. And it was just a miracle. People were coming up and telling these stories about how, when they were kids, they didn't have money, and this really touched their heart, and now they're able to give back. Or and this one little girl walks up in the middle of all this wonderfulness, and she says, I just got these gifts for Hanukkah, and I don't want these gifts, and I want to give them to someone else. And so she gave up her gifts that she had got the night before or whatever, and donated them. This was all on live TV, and it was just so sweet and touching, and that whole thing, this kind of Save Christmas that we did with the Christmas Angels in 2020 was just remarkable, seeing the community come out, and people were just, they wanted to help. And with all the hell that was going on with the pandemic, it was an emotional year, but a lot of good still came out of it, which was really, really nice to see. You know, I'm not a huge sports fan, but I am a rabid ASU fan.
There you go.
So that when it comes to representing, I'm very proud of the skills I learned at the Cronkite School. Yeah. And I met a lot of great people and a couple of teachers who really kind of said, hey, this is something you could be doing and that you're good at and you might have a future in. And so I have a huge allegiance to ASU, kind of on a whole level, not just like the football or or the basketball team. I mean, I go to the games and whatnot and pretend to know what's going on or who the latest player is. Yeah. But I'm definitely a diehard Devil fan, but as in all of it. Tempe, all the institutions, their restaurants, old and new, come and gone, the Vine and all of that stuff, and Milk Q Club, and doing exactly. What was it, $5 Long Islands or whatever they used to do? Man. Maybe they were like $2.50, I don't know, but they were dangerous as hell. Yeah. Or even the Z Tejas that was there, and you'd get those little.
Now that's Zips, isn't it?
I think so. Man. And they're like, you can only have 3 of these smoothies or whatever. They're frozen margaritas. And I don't know if that's a marketing ploy or if they really will mess you up that much, but I feel like I've had 2 and I've been pretty messed up. I'm like, this is probably a good rule. Yeah. If I have a 3rd one of these, I'm in trouble. It's not enough queso dip to sop it all up. Yeah. But yeah, big fan of the Devils for sure. And it's not U of A, so.
There you go.
Anything that's not U of A is good in my book. Well, I think the weatherman needs more time, obviously, He needs more airtime. No, I'm kidding. One thing I would change about the news media, sometimes they say stuff is scary, when it isn't. Right. A lady found a cricket in her salad, and it's like the scary situation. It's like, she'll be fine, Right. There's like bugs and stuff sometimes, and it's like not going to kill you. Like, it's like the whole neighborhood's scared now because there was a cricket. So sometimes I think stuff is exaggerated or just a little too, now it's needed sometimes, but sometimes I think it gets a little out of hand with, how scary everything is. I mean, I don't think the world is as scary of a place as maybe you might think it is if you watch the news. But it's tough. I mean, sometimes there's a lot of crime and they have to include that, and viewers do say they want that. So I don't know, balancing kind of the bad stories with the good, which I think we do a good job at in my station, not to toot our own horn, but sometimes stuff on the news is not as scary as it sounds, if that makes sense.
So if you could, okay, so with that being said, how would you change that then? Like how could that change be, just to I think limit what you're sharing?
It's probably better writing, better writing. It's getting a little technical, but sometimes better writing, sometimes it's lazy writing maybe, or just trying to, I know you want to get people to watch, but not everything is scary.
Yeah, everything has to be clickbait,
Yeah, maybe that's it. Hold on, maybe that's it. The click.
Not the clickbait.
And they all do it.
Oh, yeah.
Posting on social media, some horrible story that didn't even happen in Arizona.
Yeah, man.
It's some horrible headline.
Oh, yeah.
And then I end up clicking on it. It's like, I'm sorry it happened to whoever it happened to, but it's like, I don't need to hear about this horrendous story. I mean, people getting dismembered or something like that. I've seen all the stations do it around the country, so I'm not just calling mine out.
Right. But yeah,
But clickbait, I think if I were to change something about the news, it would probably be clickbait. And that's the social media side, but some of the stuff some of these things are just supremely violent stories, and I think you kind of maybe are going to Instagram like not to see that type of stuff, Right. I came here for pictures and vacations and whatnot, and I don't need to hear about some horrible murder on the other side of the country, so the clickbait for sure. I am beyond grateful for what I get to do in my job. It's a job that I love, which is a huge thing if you can find work that you love. And to be able to try to make people laugh or show them something new or surprise them as they're watching from home, to me it is so special. I mean, yeah, I'm on TV and it's a very public job, but I really think of it as a public servant. They are still public airwaves, and we try to really serve the community. And I mean, I could talk for hours about this and how important it is to be able to get to do that. And it's just flattering. I mean, people will stop me in the grocery store and they'll say, the time you said this and I was cracking up, my husband and I, and it just tickles me pink, to know that people like what I do. It's such an honor, and I'm so grateful. And I stop every time and say, thank you so much. And I try to let those people know, because it's so important to me. Well, my time is up. They only gave me 5. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Ian Schwartz. Make sure to have a great day.
And there you have it. Man, shout out to my man Ian. I hit Ian up today, and was like, yo, what you up to? He was like, nah, just chilling, man. I was like, down to be on the show? He was like, of course, Dave. Pulled right up like a G, because that's what gangsters do. Man, shout out to you, my brother. Thank you so much for being a part of this platform. It was an awesome time, man. We had a blast, and I wish you nothing but the best and nothing less. So make sure you guys are following him on social media. And shout out to my brother Jimmy Nelson on that camera. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. I also need you to hit that bell notification so you get notified on all the upcoming episodes we got, all right? All right. Well, this was definitely one for the books. Yes, I'm finally taking my hands out of my coat. It is actually cold today in Phoenix, like real cold. But till next time, stay tuned, stay blessed, stay healthy, and just give me 5, y'all.
Everything you get